Dating over the age of 40, part 20. Drum roll, please. He's a fun, outgoing guy. He's trying to fill this void he has in his life. Should have thought about that before he got that horrifying tattoo on his chest. I'm not claiming to be the most beautiful woman on the planet. I am 52. What I find, though, is guys that are in their 50s look considerably older than their age, and this is a perfect example. This guy's name is Kevin. He's about as laid back as you can get without falling over, which is great. But, I mean, I wish I could show y'all his whole face. He looks like he's in his late 60s. So, no thanks. I'll pass.
Hey, sorry, quick question. Are you looking for a wife?
What?
Are you looking for a wife?
Like, what do you mean?
Like, just like a wife? Like, get married?
All right, now it ain't that funny.
Come on.
And this is the problem with these 49-year-old alpha widows that are now dealing with the harsh reality of being a 49-year-old alpha widow on these dating apps when they are competing against essentially girls who can be their grandkids, who can literally be their grandchildren, right? I mean, these older women, it must be embarrassing because they're on the same dating apps that likely their teenage nieces are on, right? Their college nieces, nephews are on and going, hey, there goes auntie, or there goes grandma. She's on the same dating app as me. I mean, that is just weird. That is just totally bizarre and absurd. I would totally be creeped out if I was somebody in my teens or early 20s in college and I saw my grandmother or my auntie on the same dating app that I was on. I would be like, what is wrong with Auntie Carol? What is going on with grandma? Why is she on this? No embarrassment whatsoever. Because there is really no reason for these chicks to even be out there still. Right? And I'm sure, and they've admitted, I've seen several of these women admit, you know, they're so sick and tired of family members, cousins, relatives, co-workers, you know, baristas even, waiters, waitresses that they know, asking them, why are you still single? How come you're not married? Why don't you have a husband? Why don't you have kids? Where are your grandkids? Don't you have graduation to prepare for those kids? Family vacations, Christmas? No, I'm single. I chose the road to CC. So I'm still single. I'm on the dating apps. I mean, that's just pathetic, right? All you are doing is communicating to the world that you are DG, right? You're just proving all of my videos right. You're just communicating to the world that you did not know how to treat a man. Essentially, whenever you see a female over the age of 30, much less 40, 49, make no mistake about it. The reason why she's still out there flying solo is because she does not know how to treat a man. Or if she does, she refuses to treat a man that way, right? With respect, with honor, with dignity, with care, with supportiveness, with femininity. She refuses to do that. And you know what? Most of these DJs over 30 now are being brainwashed to act like this. They're being brainwashed to act out on men. Men, especially men they're dating, men in their lives. They're being brainwashed to act out on you, right? Even some of these movies are like brainwashing these women to think that they could be like 5'2", 100 pounds soaking wet, and you could kick the ass of a man who's 6'5" and 250 pounds. I've literally seen it. I've never seen so many like little girls like 18, 19 years old, like trying to mouth off to grown men who can demolish them. like physically, like trying to mouth off. I've never seen this before. I'm like, man, the bravery and the courage. You act like you've got a super suit on or something. You don't. You don't, right? And the only thing that's stopping this guy from completely, crushing you like a Dixie cup is restraint, right? And that is something that we as men do not get enough acknowledgement for, is our level of restraint. We could do some damage, man, right? We could really do some damage if we wanted to. We could be a dangerous bunch if we wanted to, right? They talk about this toxic masculinity. No, right? They have not seen toxic masculinity yet. I mean, but we exercise restraint, right? We know, like physically, we are the dominant creatures, right? We can pick up most women with one hand. Doesn't take much effort at all. Our upper body strength is light years ahead of any woman on the planet. Of course, the dummies in the comments will be like, well, what about that female kickboxer, that Ronda, whatever, the MMA fighter? Yeah, I get it. Okay, of course. There's exceptions to the rule, right? There are some women who are pretty big out there, whatever, and they go up against some pipsqueak, they could probably crush him. I get it. But that is the exception, and that is not the rule, right? Those are the outliers. Those are the misfits. But if we're talking stereotypically, in general, which is what we do on this channel, in general, most men out there, most women would not stand a chance against, right? But I mean, it's just shocking to me how I see these little girls just mouth off to these like gigantic guys that they don't know, complete strangers, when, you have to just cross your fingers that this guy has restraint. What if he's some psycho that just got out of the joint that one of your leftist politicians, your friendly neighborhood leftist politicians, just let out on bail, and he's just walking the streets free right now, and you happen to come across him, and he decides to just crush you like a Dixie cup. That's it. You're done. Oh, but in the superhero movies, I thought I could beat their ass. It's insane, right? It's insane. Regardless, these 49-year-old women that are out there on these apps, man, literally at that age, grandma, you should be home with your grandkids. You should be helping your kids raise their kids, right? That's how it was done back in the old days, right? That's how it was done. As a grandma, you would be still involved heavily in the family, right? Not only would you have your husband, if your husband was still alive, but you would have your kids' family. My own grandmothers, their husbands passed on early. They were still around for another 20 plus years after their husbands passed away, or 30 almost. And my grandmothers were never alone. They never felt like lonely. They had us. They had my mom. They had my dad, who were their children. Then they had me, my brothers, my sisters, and then my sisters had kids. And then they had their family. They were always busy, right? And I remember my sister even having to negotiate with my mom. On the weekend, she would take my grandma, and on the weekend, she could have her. My grandmother always had something to do, right? And she was always surrounded by family and children. Whereas these grandmas these days, they don't have anybody but their tiny crap studio apartment they're living in. They're barely getting by in. They're paying the rent on, thanks to the government, or thanks to their crappy job where they're about to get fired pretty soon or they're going to have to retire because they're getting too old and they're going to be replaced by the younger generation. They have nobody except for their cats, maybe, and these dating apps. And then trying to pull these guys off these dating apps who will just come around and use them for sex, just use them for sex, and then move along. Right? That is their future. And it's very sad. It's very pathetic. And for most of these women, it's because they bought into those lies, right? They bought into the lies of the woke mafia, of the feminists out there, right? They bought into those lies, and now you're seeing them live out this very miserable, unhappy life. Guys, we're about to enter a generation where we're going to have the largest population of lonely, single, loud, mouthy, cat-owning women out there roaming the planet. I mean, literally, just the percentage of Karens out there, the population of Karens is about to dramatically increase out there, who are going to be yelling at you for not wearing your mask, or yelling at you for whatever else she feels upset about because her life is miserable. I mean, all these Karens that are always like getting angry at people. I mean, I even see some guys doing it too, which is really, really sad. When I see a guy acting out like that, they call them Darrens, right? Like, that's the opposite. That's a male version of a Karen, is a Darren. When a Darren is out there like doing what a Karen does, I'm like, wow, man, this is just crazy. We're living in these times. Regardless, you know, this is the future they've set up for themselves, because they chose to be solo, to go it alone, right? They chose to go through life alone. And while for men, you know, we can handle that type of stuff, right? I mean, really, for men, we've got it good, guys. The older we get, the better we get, the more access we have to each generation of females out there, if we choose to date. And this is why so many of these women that are in their late 40s have such a hard time pegging down a decent guy who is also in their 40s, because these guys know they have their pick of the litter. They can date women in their 20s, their 30s, their 40s, even their 50s if they want to. I don't know why you do that, but they could if they want to. Right? They have their pick of the litter. The tables have turned, right? Dating is now working in their favor, and it's no longer working in yours in your 40s. And it's sad because nobody wants to tell these cougars the truth. You know, nobody wants to give any honesty to these harpies. So they stay out there being frustrated, getting angry, lashing out at the patriarchy, blaming men, blaming dudes, because that's what they're told to do, right? When really it's their own fault. A lot of these females were at one point married too, which is sad. They were married, might even had some kids. They already had their family picked out. They already had their husband picked out, and they decided to walk away. Right? Always a bad move if you're a female. Always a bad move, because this is what you're going to jump into. And you look at any of these divorced females who left their husbands and then jumped into the dating world, tried to re-enter the dating market, and you see how frustrated they are. You see just how lost they are. You see how just miserable they are. When all you had to do was just treat your husband a little bit better and try to make it work. You know, and you wouldn't have to be dealing with any of this stuff. You know, you could spend your days doing things that are more constructive, more productive than sitting on, these, on OkCupid trying to find yourself a man when you already had one. Sad. It's sad, guys. As always, drop your comments below. Let me know what you think of tonight's coaching video. Anything you'd like to add, anything you'd like to share, anything I might have missed, please drop them in the comments below. And I will definitely try to read as many as possible, so drop them below. With that said, I'm going to wrap up here. Until next time, this is M from the 33 Secrets. Do not forget to destroy that like button below. I want you to destroy it, guys. Please destroy that like button for me. Do it for the DeLorean. Do it for Cash and Gizmo. Just destroy that like button. Do it now. Also, hit that notification bell right next to it so that you're notified whenever I release a brand new coaching video here on the YouTube. More importantly, guys, please make sure you subscribe to my channel. Helps me out with the YouTube algorithm, especially because they don't like me doing coaching videos like this. They don't want to promote me anymore. So I need you guys to help me out. And the way you can help me out is by subscribing to my channel. Okay, it's free. It doesn't cost anything. So hit that subscribe button right now so you could get more free, high-value content from me at no cost just by being a subscriber of the 33 Secrets. And for you guys who want to support my work and all this red pill, gold pill, and platinum pill content that I am teaching you on the YouTube even further, the best way to do that is by jumping into my monthly online coaching program, 7 Months to Mastery, where I'm teaching guys just like you how to go out there and approach and close the hottest, youngest, and most beautiful looking women on the planet. I'm talking about 8s, 9s, and 10s, the same exact type of women that myself and all of my coaching students all around the world are out there approaching and closing every single week. And I kid you not, we are making this happen every single week, regardless of what racial division is going on in the world, kind of virus is going on in the world. It doesn't matter. We are continuing to live our lives and making things happen 24/7, 365 days a year, all around the world, in all four corners of the world. And I want you to join my tribe. I want you to join our crew. I want you to become one of us. And the way you do that is by jumping into 7 months of mastery. And right now it's only $1 for the entire first month of mastery coaching lessons from me. And all you need to do to get signed up is click that link below in my description box. It will take you over to my website where you can get signed up right now. It just takes 2 seconds. So do that now, and I will see you in my next coaching video. Say goodnight to the DeLorean. Good night, DeLorean. Good night, stainless steel. Back to the future dream. Good night.